I was in Hawaii for my best friend's wedding. She invited her entire wedding party to participate in an itinerary filled with fun activities to enjoy Oahu, where she's from. And our first day was to go on a hike at the pillboxes. I was with the entire wedding party, so there were about 20 people, and we were hiking in the pillboxes that day. I don't remember the details of how we got there and all that, but we were supposed to do a moderately difficult trail all together as a group, and sometimes when I hike I like to speed ahead, so I was running up the trail, and that's when the cardiac arrest happened.
My name is Brad. Heidi and I have been married for about 5 years now. The hike at the pillboxes was really fun, and it was a steep beginning, but it wasn't too bad. We got about halfway up, and I remember Heidi stopped and we were admiring the view, and Heidi said, "Oh, I want to run ahead." And she took off, and I was just maybe 10 or 15 steps behind her, and I looked down at my phone to check the time, and when I looked up, she'd collapsed. She was on her knees in front of me, and at first I thought maybe she tripped, but it became clear pretty quickly that something was really wrong. And by the time I got to her, she was unresponsive, and it was the scariest moment of my entire life. Heidi had, if any, really shallow breaths, and she was tense and expressionless. People gathered, and fortunately there was a couple of people who had some training in CPR, and we started pretty quickly performing CPR, and I tried calling 911 and I couldn't even talk. Never been without words like that before, but I couldn't even answer the questions. And a friend took the phone and told the emergency operator where we were and what was happening as my friends and I started to do CPR. Finally, the paramedics came. They hiked all the way up the mountain in 10 minutes. It's like they ran up the mountain with all their equipment. It was unbelievable. The first time they used the defibrillator, it didn't work, and I thought my life was over, and I didn't think we'd ever get Heidi back. But the second time they used the defibrillator, her heart started. So we carried her down the mountain, down the steep section at the bottom, got in the ambulance and went to Castle Medical Center's emergency room. And I remember right out of the gate, the staff was amazing, taking care of Heidi, taking care of me. In the emergency room, they found that her heart seemed to be functioning normally now that it was restarted, but she'd been without oxygen for a really long time. So the critical care doctor and team decided to put her through a temperature regulation therapy to make sure that she'd recover better. And I think it must have made all the difference, because I remember when she woke up almost 36 hours later, I could tell she recognized my voice and responded right away as the medicine started to wear off. And I can't remember anything that's ever made me happier in my life than that.
When I woke up, the first thing I remember was receiving letters from my sister-in-law. She was writing me, she was writing me letters every day just to let me know how I was doing and to tell me what was happening. And they were really loving messages, and she told me what day it was and what exactly happened, and that my family was on their way, and they were just really, they helped me orient myself to the day and what was going on. And I remember my family being around me, and I only remember what happened after the accident. I was in the hospital for a total of a week, so about 7 days. And it started in the emergency room, and then I went to the ICU, and then I was in a floor bed. And I had to stay that long because they implanted an ICD. So I had surgery like the day before my discharge. I remember the hospital feeling like home, like everyone treated me like family, and it was a really warm environment. I met a lot of the staff there, so I don't remember everyone's names, but I remember visiting the hospital again after being discharged to thank everybody. And I remember the nurses' assistants who helped me, and the floor bed nurses like Celeste, and the ICU nurse Lisa, who we also saw again when I went back to visit. But I just remember what a welcoming environment it was, and feeling like I was in the best possible place.
The type of person who works at Castle is a little different than other facilities that I've experienced. They treat everybody like family, like, you know, there's a degree of caring that just makes such a difference. I mean, it's like having your mom look after you rather than somebody who's just doing their job. All the care at Castle Medical Center was exceptional. From the moment we got there, everybody made us feel like family, like we mattered, and like everything was going to be okay. From the emergency room staff to the ICU to the floor, we couldn't have asked for anything more. The doctors, the nurses, the occupational therapy, physical therapy, everybody was really incredible during our visit.
We're back at home in San Francisco now, and we've returned to our routine and returned to work. It's felt good. It's been feeling good to be back to our normal lives again. I just want to say thank you to all the doctors and nurses who took care of me, and everyone who checked in with the follow-up calls to make sure I was okay and ready to go home. Thank you so much, Castle Medical Center.
We owe you everything.